Hey guys, Toast here, and welcome to another episode of Overwatch How to Play. This is a series that focuses on each Overwatch character's backstory, covers their basic mechanics and abilities, and discusses tips to play each character. Today's focus is Lucio. And quickly before we get into Lucio's backstory, the pronunciation of his name is the Portuguese pronunciation, which is Lucio, not the Italian pronunciation, which is Lucio. Lucio Correa dos Santos grew up in Rio de Janeiro, in a deprived and overcrowded favela that was heavily impacted by the financial upheaval following the Omnic crisis. As Brazil set itself down the long road to recovery, he wanted to find a way to lift the spirits of the downtrodden citizens around him. He found his solution in music and its power to bring harmony, togetherness, and consolation. He performed on street corners, block parties, and, as he grew older, at a series of legendary underground shows. Lucio's tight-knit community was thrown into chaos when the multinational Vishkar Corporation signed a contract to redevelop large portions of the city. The community had been told that the development would be an improvement in their lives, however the promise was never kept. Vishkar imposed control on the residents of Rio under the guise of building a more orderly society, including imposing curfews, cracking down on what Vishkar claimed was lawless behavior, and exploiting the citizens for cheap labor. Lucio was having none of it. He procured Vishkar's sonic technology that had been used to suppress people and converted it to a tool to rally the people to action. In a united uprising, they drove Vishkar out of their neighborhoods. Lucio's leadership propelled him to stardom, skyrocketing his popularity overnight and making him a symbol for positive social change. Where Lucio was once a local performer, he is now an international superstar filling arenas across the world. With his newfound fame, Lucio understands that he is in a unique position to make a difference and change the world for the better. Now that we have a little backstory on Lucio, let's take a look at the basic mechanics of this superstar social justice champion. Lucio fills the support role in this game and has 200 health with no armor and no shield. This puts him directly in line in terms of hit points with most of the other support characters. Lucio's primary weapon is his Sonic Amplifier. Lucio launches Sonic Blast projectiles at his enemies, dealing moderate damage. The unique thing about Lucio's Sonic Amplifier compared to other weapons in the game is that it's a burst fire weapon, sending out 4 projectiles in every burst. Lucio can shoot 5 bursts before needing to reload for a total of 20 ammunition in each clip. Lucio does have an alternate attack with his Sonic Amplifier that, instead of burst firing 4 sonic projectiles, propels forward 1 large, short-range sonic wave that knocks back enemies and damages them. The knockback effect on this alternate fire is significant enough to propel enemies off of ledges if they're standing close enough. The alternate fire has a 3-second cooldown and cannot be used rapid fire. Lucio has a passive ability called Wall Ride. Lucio can jump up on any wall and ride along it. The wall ride has a slight upward angle, allowing him to ascend the surface he's riding on. This can be used to get Lucio to a number of locations that other heroes can't get to, or use shortcuts to get to a location quicker. Lucio's first ability is called Crossfade. Lucio continually energizes himself as well as nearby teammates with his music. Lucio is able to swap between 2 songs, one which amplifies the speed of him and his allies, and the other which slowly regenerates his and his allies' health. Lucio can swap between these 2 songs at any time he wishes with no cooldown and no restrictions. This allows him to tailor his support to his teammates based on the situation they find themselves in, but remember that the reach of his music is limited, so make sure you have as many allies in its range as possible. Lucio's second ability is called Amp It Up. Lucio pumps up the volume on his speakers, boosting the effectiveness of his songs both on himself and his allies. If you have the speed boost active, you and your teammates will move significantly faster for a short period of time. If you have the healing boost active, your teammates will receive significantly more healing for a short period of time. Think of this more as an alteration to Crossfade as opposed to a separate distinct ability. Amp It Up lasts for 3 seconds and has a 12-second cooldown, so plan your use accordingly. Remember that this only affects teammates within range of Lucio's music effects. Lucio's ultimate ability is called Sound Barrier. Lucio slams the ground, radiating out protective waves from his Sonic Amplifier, which briefly provides him and all nearby allies with a large personal shield. The personal shield immediately begins to degrade, offering a little less protection for each moment that passes. The ability lasts for a total of 6 seconds, during which all allies will have some additional shield unless it's used up by enemy damage before the ability ends. Sound Barrier is the buff of all buffs when it comes to trying to prepare to do a big objective push. Let's move on to Lucio's strengths and weaknesses. As previously mentioned, Lucio is a support character, and his strength lies in his ability to buff and support his team. Lucio is an important asset for 2 reasons. He can get his team to the objective quicker, and he can keep his team alive. While he does not offer healing as strong as that of Mercy, the benefit that Lucio has is that his healing is passive, so he can set the song and let the healing do its work, occasionally amping it up for the added benefit. While Lucio does not have the most amazing killing potential, he does have enough damage to take on some other supports, and be somewhat competitive with offense and defense characters at varying ranges. While it's unlikely that Lucio is going to successfully come out of a 1v1 versus tank, he will at the very least be a nuisance, taking away some of their attention from his allies. One of Lucio's biggest strengths is his ability to push enemies away from him. If an enemy gets uncomfortably close, you can use Lucio's alternate attack to propel them away from him, giving you enough space to get out of a bad situation. By using this along with your speed boost and amp it up, you can usually get yourself out of precarious situations quickly. Lucio's weakness, however, is being solo. His abilities are all support abilities that do no damage, and his primary attacks only do a moderate amount of damage, so stick with your teammates to get the most benefit out of this hero. Now let's cover some tips and tactics to play as Lucio. Lucio is your quintessential buffer, with his abilities giving a beneficial stat boost to his teammates. As such, make sure to keep yourself close to your team, and when using Amp It Up, try to get as many allies in your area of effect as possible. The more you can get, the more benefit you're providing your team. Wall Run is a unique trait for Lucio, so use it to your advantage to get to a location quickly or stealthily. You can get around certain parts of each map in ways that other characters can't, giving you a flanking advantage on enemies to pull their attention or at least give your team some recon information. Lucio's ultimate is best coordinated with your teammates. The best situations for use of Sound Barrier tend to be when your team is grouping up to do a big objective push, or if you find your teammates are all close to dying, you can use Sound Barrier to give them a huge boost of survivability and likely make it out of the fight in one piece. Don't forget to pay attention to what song you're currently playing. If your team is trying to hold an objective and you're using speed boost, it may not be a ton of help. Conversely, if your team is first making their way out of the spawn, they're unlikely to be attacked, so your health boost isn't going to be terribly beneficial. Remember, you can switch the song whenever you want, and with no cooldown, so if the situation changes quickly, be ready to change your song to accommodate. But that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if you feel better equipped to play Lucio now, or if there are some aspects that I missed that you want to share. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more content, please subscribe and follow me on Facebook and Twitter, links in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Toast, and I'll talk to you soon.